Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Driving too slowly can sometimes be as dangerous as speeding. That's according to the California Highway Patrol, who stressed that driving too far below the speed limit, especially along any of the Morongo Basin's 4- and 2-lane highways, can be deadly. On a recent episode of the Z107.7 Up Close show, host Gary Daigneault spoke with CHP Public Information Officer Michael Radford and Traffic Officer Jake Griffith. They discussed that going slow, especially on a long stretch of 2-lane highway like Old Woman Springs Road, can sometimes be just as dangerous as going fast. Here's Officer Griffith.
Let me put something else out there, too. When you've got a 2-lane highway, 1 lane in either direction, right? So speed limit is kind of a misnomer. It's actually the prescribed speed. It is against the law and can be cited for going quite a bit under that speed, and it's called impeding. I tell drivers, especially on a 2-lane road, and especially when you can't pass, you need to maintain the speed limit because that also contributes to road rage, and it's also just about being a polite driver.
Do you write many tickets for someone driving slow in the fast lane?
I make a lot of stops for drivers basically hogging the left lane. A lot of stops for it. I don't necessarily write a lot of tickets, but I do write some.
Public education stop?
Yeah, a lot of times I find it seems that there's a lot of drivers that just seem unaware of the law, so I'll take it as an opportunity to educate them. But sometimes I do feel that a ticket's warranted, and I do go to court on those cases occasionally.
You can hear their full conversation by listening to the Z107.7 Up Close show as a podcast at our website or wherever you get your podcasts. Last night, the Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors held their regular meeting. Reporter Gabriel Hart was there and joins us with this recap.
The meeting began with the board discussing their Community Relations Ad Hoc Committee, which would be comprised of 2 or more members of the board for monthly community gatherings to spread information regarding the CSD and to answer questions from the public. Through this angle, the board discussed transforming Covington Park's tennis court into a potentially more popular pickleball court, as well as reestablishing a community emergency response team. Each year, Morongo Valley residents come together to nominate and award the Volunteer of the Year for the MVCSD Chuck Osborne Award. This year had 6 nominees: Buddy Stogner, Tammy Stogner, Eva Rouse, Jim Ragland, and Christopher Daniel. After careful consideration from the board, this year's MVCSD Chuck Osborne Award went to Tammy Stogner. Stogner's husband, Buddy, a Chuck Osborne Award winner for multiple years, was one of the many who nominated Stogner. The board discussed the feasibility of partnering with the Morongo Basin Ambulance to have an ambulance staffed in the Morongo Valley Fire Department. Morongo Valley Fire Chief McKicken said the tentative agreement would be for MVA to provide an ambulance, its equipment, and all its associated costs for the MVFD, and the MVFD would provide its staffing. Benefits would include faster emergency response times for Morongo Valley, as well as the opportunity for Chief McKicken to put an additional firefighter into service, which would bring the department up to 4.0 staffing. If the CSD agrees for the extra personnel, McKicken said he would wait until the next fiscal year to initiate the partnership. The board said they would assess the budget and address further at next month's meeting. To assist with recently fallen trees and other debris in Covington Park, a wood chipper has been donated to the CSD from Richard Brewer of the Morongo Valley Fire Safe. Once the wood chipper is deemed in good working condition, the board will consider offering its supervised use for community mulching, as long as residents will be able to bring their lumber to the park where it will remain. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
The Yucca Valley Chamber of Commerce is holding a mixer tonight, hosted by the Copper Mountain College Foundation and the Copper Mountain College Adult Education Program Office. The mixer will feature an opportunity to, of course, mix, as well as mingle and find out what's happening around the high desert area. There will also be free charcuterie. There will be an outdoor display of Infinity Box artwork by Matt Elson. The mixer is being held tonight at the Town Center Mall, located at the corner of 29 Palms Highway and Warren Vista Avenue at 5 p.m.
I wanted to say I loved you, but you didn't have time.
That's the song Immaterial by Dan Spencer. A former funeral director, Spencer is known for opening for Post Malone, and he will be playing a solo show tonight at a Yucca Valley barbershop. Spencer is touring the country and playing his anti-Americana country music at a variety of venues, including Fenway Park, skateboard shops, and our own Fatty's Barbershop in Yucca Valley. An Eastern Tennessee native, Spencer's music references black metal, vampires, and Jean Genet. Tonight's show is at 8 p.m. at Fatty's Barbershop, located at 57407 29 Palms Highway, Unit F in Yucca Valley.
What do I gain? Who do I hate? Immaterial. It's immaterial.
The 29 Palms Water District serves a population of approximately 18,000 residents within an 87 square mile area. General Manager Matt Schrag will be the guest on the Z107.7 Up Close show tomorrow at 10 a.m. Schrag will talk with host Gary Dagnot about the rich history of the first public water system in the Morongo Basin and how they maintain over 8,000 meter services, 360 miles of pipeline, and 17 million gallons of storage. All about the 29 Palms Water District on the Z107.7 Up Close show live tomorrow morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It will be available as a podcast later in the day at Z107.7fm.com. How did you sleep last night? If you wake up in the mornings feeling less than fresh, you might be battling a sleep condition that is impacting your short and long-term health. A free event tomorrow in 29 Palms may help shed light on your nocturnal patterns, and online news editor Robert Hayden talked with the sleep specialist who's putting it on. Here's Robert.
Rene Rubera might be a familiar face as some at the 29 Palms Senior Center, where he's been volunteering with Meals on Wheels as well as cooking at the center for the last few years. What they may not know is that Rene is also a sleep health consultant with over 20 years of experience in sleep medicine. And tomorrow morning, he'll be holding an information session called the Restful Nights Program, where he'll be discussing the importance of healthy sleep and how sleep apnea can be a harmful interruption that you may not even be aware of.
So sleep apnea is a complete cessation of breathing for a minimum 10 seconds. Usually the person that has sleep apnea, they usually feel like they don't have a sleep problem and that they sleep fine. But we're trying to focus on quality sleep, deep sleep, restorative sleep. As you're transitioning through your sleep cycle, which is light, deep, then you got the dream stage. As you're going through this cycle and you have one of these apnea events where you start choking, that causes a person to now fall back in their sleep cycle. Maybe you're in deep, now you're in the light stage.
Longer term, sleep apnea can have health impacts such as stress on your heart, which has to work harder each time your sleep is interrupted.
So getting tested is very important, just so that individual knows exactly what's going on with their sleep. And then you can take that information and speak with your doctor and get the help that you deserve. Everybody should get great sleep.
Friday's free sleep apnea screening and info session starts at 9:30 a.m. and goes until 11. It's at the 29 Palms Senior Center, but all ages are welcome. The event is taking place in collaboration with Reach Out Morongo Basin. And if you can't make it to the event but want to know more about sleep apnea and the screenings, we'll have contact info available at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
And finally, the 29 Palms High School Lady Wildcats softball team traveled to Cathedral City yesterday and came away with a 4-0 win. Jenica Silvas pitched 3 shutout innings and struck out 8 batters. She also went 2 for 4 with a walk and scored 2 runs. Anissa Yuso pitched 4 shutout innings and struck out 5 batters. The Lady Wildcats improved their record 2-0. They'll travel to Palm Springs for a 4-game tournament. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.